Remove your job title. Remove your relationship status. Remove your nationality, your religion, your political position, your aesthetic preferences, your social media persona. Remove everything the herd gave you a word for.
What is left? Most men have never asked this question seriously. They have asked it casually, at 2 a.m., slightly drunk, in the way people gesture at depth, without actually descending into it. Then the morning came, and the identity reassembled itself automatically, and the question was forgotten.
Nietzsche did not ask it casually. He used it as a demolition tool. And the answer he was looking for was not reassuring. A false identity, a self built from borrowed material rather than constructed from genuine internal experience, does not feel false from the inside. That is what makes it dangerous.
It feels like you. It responds when your name is called. It has preferences, opinions, a history, a set of values it will defend if challenged. It is completely convincing. And it is not you. Nietzsche challenges you to look inward and dismantle the external expectations that have shaped your identity so far. This process of self-overcoming is not meant to be a comfortable journey.
The false identity is the result of a process that began before you were old enough to consent to it. The herd, the family, the school, the culture, the algorithm handed you a set of answers before you had formed the questions. Who are you? Here is a nationality. Here is a religion. Here is a career path. Here is an aesthetic. Here is what success looks like. Here is what a good person does. You received the answers. You never asked the questions. The false identity is built in 3 layers. Each one feels like the real thing. Layer 1, the social performance, the version of you that exists in the presence of other people, the curated responses, the managed impressions, the specific personality you deploy in different contexts. Most men confuse this layer with their actual self because it is the most practiced and the most reinforced. Layer 2, the internal narrative. The story you tell yourself about who you are and why you do what you do. This layer feels more private and therefore more authentic. It is not. It is simply the social performance running without an audience. The same borrowed values, the same inherited judgments, operating internally instead of externally. Layer 3, the deep assumption, the bedrock belief about what you fundamentally deserve, what you are fundamentally capable of, and what the world fundamentally owes you. This layer was installed earliest. It is the hardest to examine, and the most powerful in determining every decision you make. Most men live entirely within these 3 layers and call it self-knowledge. Nietzsche called it slavery with a comfortable name. But here is what nobody tells you about borrowed identity. You already know it's not yours. You have always known. The question was never discovery. The question was whether you would admit it. Become who you are. 3 words. The most demanding instruction in Western philosophy. Not become what the herd expects. Not Become what your parents modeled. Not become the version of yourself that generates the most external validation. Become who you are, meaning excavate the genuine signal buried under the layers of borrowed material and build from that exclusively. The instruction sounds liberating. It is not. It is the hardest work available to a human being, because the genuine signal, the actual self underneath the performance, is not a finished product waiting to be discovered. It is raw material, unprocessed, frequently uncomfortable, often in direct conflict with everything the herd has been rewarding you for. Far from advocating despair, Nietzsche dedicated his life to finding new ways to say yes to existence. He challenges you to take ownership of your own destiny and values. The man who becomes who he is does not find a comfortable identity waiting for him. He finds the material to build one, and then does the building. The identity audit is a single question, applied repeatedly until something breaks. The question? Did I choose this, or was it chosen for me? Apply it to your career. Apply it to your social circle. Apply it to your aesthetic, your politics, your religious position, your definition of a successful life. Apply it to your morning routine, your relationship patterns, your response to failure. For each element, did you construct it from genuine internal experience, or did you inherit it, absorb it, adopt it because the people around you held it? What survives this audit? The things you chose with full awareness and would choose again knowing what you know now. That is the foundation of a real identity. What does not survive is not lost. It was never yours. Be careful, lest in casting out your demon, you exercise the best thing in you. The audit is not an instruction to destroy everything. It is an instruction to distinguish. Some of what you inherited is genuinely yours. Values that, when examined honestly, you would reconstruct from first principles if they were taken away. These survive. These become load-bearing. What does not survive is the scaffolding, the identity elements held in place by social pressure, by the fear of the herd's judgment, by the habit of having always been this way. Remove the scaffolding. What remains is the structure. The secret for harvesting from existence the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment is to live dangerously. Building a genuine identity is dangerous. It will conflict with what the people around you expect. It will require you to hold a position that is not validated by consensus. It will mean being a specific, legible person, rather than a managed, palatable one. The herd tolerates managed and palatable. It cannot tolerate specific and legible, because specific and legible is not controllable. Nietzsche's question, the one that destroys false identity, is not asked once. It is a practice, a daily audit that gets sharper as the layers come off. And in the beginning, the answer to, "Who are you really?" will be, "I don't know yet." That answer is the most honest thing most men have ever said about themselves. Use the lack of inherent meaning as a blank canvas to actively create your own values. Harness the will to power as an internal drive for self-mastery, discipline, and personal growth. The not knowing is not failure. It is the cleared ground. You cannot build a sovereign self on borrowed foundations. You can only build on what survives the question. Ask the question. Survive the answer. Build from what remains.
If this hit differently, subscribe. No motivation, no self-help. Nietzsche, every week.